Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and I think this is going to be, I'd like to call it a yarn chat video, but it's really just chit chat because I don't have too much to talk about in regards to yarn because yesterday I had a super fun day. I did not make a Podcaster Spirit Week video because of my really super fun day, but to be honest, I'm not really a Disney person. I mean, I like Disney movies and I loved singing Disney songs, but I don't have any Disney apparel. I don't have any Disney costumes. I don't have anything Disney. I mean, I used to when Maddie was super little. Maddie loved to dress up. So I used to have a lot of Disney princess stuff, but Maddie's 14, you guys, and she's outgrown that. But she did say for Christmas she wanted to go to Disney on Ice. And so we used to go to Disney on Ice every single year with Brandon's dad and mother. That would be like their gift to a bunch of the grandkids, and we'd go to Disney on Ice. But as the kids get older, it makes sense to phase it out. Well, Maddie still loved it and missed it and said this year for Christmas, she wants to go to Disney on Ice. How cute is that? But anyway, so this is my super fun day. Yesterday, I went to Door County with some teacher friends. I could list them all to you, but you don't know them. But I mean, one of them has a son that's friends with my son, and she's the art teacher. Another one is just an acquaintance from school. She doesn't have any kids. She hasn't taught my kids yet, and she doesn't have any for me to teach. But she's a social studies teacher, history teacher, and that was my minor in college, so we get along well. And then the other is a third grade teacher who is a teacher friend who I see every day, being in second grade. But I have taught one of her students. She actually hasn't taught, or I've taught one of her children. She hasn't taught one of mine. Let's see who else came. Then the new art teacher. Our school's gotten big enough now to where we have to have 2 art teachers. To be honest, I really think we should have 3, but that's my humble opinion. And yeah, so that's it. Art, social studies, second grade, third grade. So we went up to Door County for the day. First, we just went up there and we went to a restaurant. I will insert some pictures because next to where we were sitting at the table was like this clothesline stretched across between us and like the wait area, the waitress area, wait staff. And there was some really cute hats / headbands on there. And so I got an idea that I'm going to try to copy one of those. I did look and there was a label in there. They did not appear to be handmade by anybody in there. They appeared to be like, well, they were knitted. But like I said, they had a more of official looking label. Maybe somebody up there has official label. I don't know. I mean, I get those from Bella Coco, those little leather like looking ones. I can't remember the name of the place we went for breakfast. I want to say like Village Cafe, maybe. But it was super good. And they had, so I had just a croissant. A croissant and egg and cheese and some fruit. But they were featuring pumpkin pancakes. And so we shared some as a group. Really good. And then also they had a pumpkin coffee cake. So we each had our own meal. And then in the middle of the table, we shared some pumpkin pancakes and a pumpkin coffee cake. And then we drove to the Door County Trolley place. Now that place is kind of, I don't want to say new. I grew up in Door County, and I used to hate saying that, but technically we moved there when I was 11 or 12. And I used to not feel like I grew up there because I'd lived in Oregon and Washington and Virginia and Florida. But now the number of years that I've lived in Wisconsin is much greater than the number of years that I have not lived in Wisconsin. So I just really feel like I can say now. Plus I met my husband up there, and all my kids were born up there. So I have to feel something. So anyway, I grew up there. So the friends and I, we went up there, and when I was growing up, they did not have these trolley tours. They have them now. Some guy from Illinois or Minnesota came over and started up with a trolley, one trolley, giving tours. And now he's got his own little brand new little brand spanking new building out, I think, on Highway 42. And he has all these trolleys. Now, Now, we did not go on this specific trolley. We took just the scenic ride where he just drove around some of the Door County area and told us about things. But I did buy this postcard because that's what the trolley looks like. And this guy here in the picture used to be a teacher at my high school. He taught, I don't know what grades he all taught, but by the time my husband and I were in high school, because we did go to high school together, he was known as what? The BIC teacher, behavior intervention. See, look how scary he is. And so if you were naughty, he would go into the classroom, usually grab you by the scruff of your neck and whip you out of the room and take you to the BIC room where he would yell at you. And nobody else knew what happened in there. I never was taken to the BIC room, so I don't know. But that's Mr. Kohlhout, and he is a Door County Trolley, or was a Door County Trolley driver. I guess he's retired from that as well. But he specialized in the spooky ones, because look at how scary he is. He's actually super nice, but he does look scary in here. I bought that for my husband, because my husband had a relationship with him, as in he had been in the BIC room before. Okay, so after the trolley ride, then we went to a few shops, like this Woodman's Orchard. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. I've been there multiple times, even when my kids were little, because in the very front of this orchard shop, there's orchard behind it, and then they sell, of course, cherry and apples and all that kind of jazz, and jams and jellies and fudge and fruit and pies. But in the front of it, they have a track, a gravel track, and they have all these like little cars and tricycles, and kids can like race each other, and then they sell a bunch of pumpkins. So we went into there, and I did buy some delicious crusty bread. I don't remember the exact kind, but it has a hard crusty shell and a kind of sourdoughy in the middle. It was really good. I actually just got done eating a slice before I came down to make this video. And then after the crusty bread, I bought a bag of Sweet Tangos. Apparently, according to our trolley driver, that the Sweet Tangos it was developed in Minnesota from some fruit farmers or whatnot that crossbred Honey Crisps with a different kind of apple. I don't remember what that one was. I never heard of it. And it came up with the Sweet Tango. And it is a delicious fruit. So I bought a bag of those apples, and they're up in the fridge. Hopefully we'll do something with those. And we went to dinner at a place called Husby's, I think. And all in all, it was a really good day. We did other shops and stuff. I like the appearance of Door County. And my husband does have the bulk of his family in Door County. My family, obviously not, because I grew up other places, then moved to Door County. My mom still lives up there. It's just in general, it is pretty. But that is where I had a really tough time in middle school and high school with making friends. It wasn't that, well, it was cliquish, plain and simple. And there was a lot of people who were already in these cliques or groups of friends, of cousins and sisters. And these are our friends that we grew up with. And I was new at 11 or 12 when I moved in. And people would be nice to me, like, hi, how are you? But nobody ever invited me into their clique. And as I grew, and then I got married, I went to college, got married, moved back there. And I lived there for, well, a couple years before Maddie was born. And then we moved when Maddie was in first grade. I just never really had any friends. I had people who were nice to my face, but never really took it to a deeper friendship. So I always just never felt fondly of Sturgeon Bay, Door County. But I did have a really great time. And that's the point. I didn't want to say that bad part, but I wanted to say it was really nice to be there with friends, because down in Oshkosh, making friends has not been hard. I've made plenty of friends. And so it was nice to be in Door County with friends and have a good time and not be worried or feeling insecure walking around and feeling scared. I don't know why, but that's how I feel every time I went there, just like I was in high school again. I always feel like nervous, insecure, and scared. But when I was up there with my teacher friends, it was a really good time. So thank you, teacher friends. so that's all really I bought. I bought the postcard for my husband because of that guy. I bought some apples and I bought some bread. I did knit on the way there because we met at a church parking lot off the highway and at 7:30 a.m. and we drove up and we were dropped off at the church parking lot at 8 p.m. So it was a full day excursion. On the way up, I did work on my hat. I'm farther now. I'm now in the decrease section. And in the decrease, you mark every certain number of stitches, and then you do a row of knitting 2 together, and then a row of just plain knit. And I just finished a row of knit. This is the hardest part for me because I have to remember when I stop whether I finished on a knit row or a decrease row. And then after a little while, that's when I switched to these little cute tiny knitting needles, which I can't find, but this is my hat bag. I put the yarn and all the tools that I need for knitting a hat in this bag, and I carry it around. I am feeling like I'm going to have to switch to another skein. We'll see. This is how much I have left of the original. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get one hat out of a skein. And then I wanted to make a purple one. Now, one of the interesting things that I saw in Door County, actually, I forgot to tell you, is it was Pumpkin Patch Day, which was a whole lot of people everywhere. Our trolley driver was an amazing driver. There was a few times where I thought for sure we were going to end up in an accident or sideswipe a car, and he just kept on plugging along. So good job, John. But anyway, we did stop at the pumpkin patch in Egg Harbor, and we went around through some of the booths, and there was one booth. Lots of crafty things, nothing that I hadn't seen before. You know, those sacks of seeds that you can heat up, or some polymer clay type 3D printed things, and you know, all the normal crafty stuff. But they did have one booth with alpacas. They had a couple alpacas next to it, and they were selling alpaca hats and mittens and gloves. Now, those were for sure made from some kind of fancy something, and made from alpaca somewhere, because those were expensive. Those hats and gloves and scarves and sweaters were like $50 or more. They did have some alpaca yarn, and I went up and looked, and it was $38 a skein. They did have some DK yarn in a little bowl, which I was tempted to buy because it was only $12.99, but it was only like 5% alpaca, 95% acrylic. So I skipped out of buying that yarn. I thought about it. But the interesting thing there is they did have a full table of hats that were crocheted with giant pom-poms on it. But you guys, it was not made from alpaca wool, and they were selling those hats for $30. And you obviously all know that crochet is handmade. There's no way to machine replicate it. Knitting can be replicated. And so you could have, you know, some machine out there pumping out scarves and whatnot. I don't know. And people, I don't know how it works. Because don't they have to have someone sew those pieces together? I don't know. Anyway. But they were selling those hats for $30. And I will tell you, they were not made from alpaca yarn. I know specifically because it was made, and if I could have found, I should have pulled it out ahead of time to show you guys. Many of you know my favorite hoarding yarn is Lion Brand Woolies Carousel. It is my favorite. I might actually stand up here and look, and because I think my DK yarn is up in here. Yep, here it is. Now I just have to find a really long knitting needle, because that's how I get the things on the top shelf. And I get a long knitting needle and I stick it up in there and I jam it into it and I slide it down. See that? Okay, that's how I get things from the top. Because if you guys don't know, in real life, I'm like 5'2". I'm a very short nugget. Okay, this is what a good many of the hats were made of. This yarn. You know, if you're a yarn hoarder, sometimes you can just look at something and know what it's made out of. And they were just simply crocheted. It was that same rectangle pattern that I usually make for my second graders, and then cinched at the top with a faux fur pom-pom. I don't know where they got them, probably Amazon. And they were selling them for $35. And I think people thought that they were alpaca because it has, I don't know if you can see that in the video, it does have this, I mean, it's wool ease. 80% acrylic, 20% wool. But you can see there is fuzz. I guess maybe you guys can see that now that I'm pointing at it. And I think people thought that these were alpaca hats. One of my friends was going to buy one. I said, listen, lady, you go to Walmart and buy yourself a $6 skein of yarn, and I will make you a hat. I mean, I don't want to take away from them, but I'm just thinking, I don't know. I guess I have this idea that, yes, there's a lot of time and effort that goes into making things. But I do think it takes some people longer than other people. So when I am in making a hat, I can probably crochet a hat, no joke, in 30 minutes to an hour. That's 1 hour. This yarn costs $15 and or $5, $6. And if I am making it for 1 hour, even if I'm making like $14 an hour, which seems a lot, that's what you make it from McDonald's, I don't know. And then the cost of the yarn, still that's really only like 20 to me. I don't know, markup, tax, I don't know. I've just never been one of those, like, now if it is really made out of wool and alpaca, like more than 20% wool, like 100% wool or alpaca or Peruvian wool, then I feel like that's nice yarn. That is going to cost a little bit more. And so then that hat should be costing $30 to $40. I don't know. Maybe I'm a yarn snob now and I wasn't before, but I just feel like a good old acrylic that you've bought at Walmart, I don't know. There's going to be people in the comments, go start looking down there, that aren't going to agree, because I tend to be on one of those sides that I guess that I enjoy making things, I guess, more than I enjoy selling them. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. So there, I got some people fired up. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Because there's some people that do feel like if you make something with, even with Red Heart Super Saver, that it should cost $100 because it's homemade. I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe on the size, if you're making a bedspread, maybe that would. I don't know. The amount of Red Heart. I mean, Red Heart isn't cheap these days anymore, though. Even in the number of years that I've started crocheting, from when I first started, when I made Maddie a mermaid tail like 5-6 years ago, the yarn prices have gone up. It's a little harder to buy cheaper yarn, and you don't find it. Sometimes I even think when I see like a skein that's on clearance for $3.47, I'm like, clearance should be $1. I don't know. And then even Joann's doesn't allow you to stack your coupons as much anymore. Okay, so that was my day. That's pretty much all there is. Now, if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, I'm going to tell you why I've been holding this stack of books. These are the Crochet Society extras. Yeah. And I posted them in my Facebook group. I posted it so that you could see the cover and that you could then see the patterns that were available. So if you're interested in these books, you could then put a comment under that picture that's like, yeah, I love this little elephant, whatever you wanted to say. You could just say, I want that one. I'm not picky. I'm not going to be grading you on your best comment. But anyway, in approximately a week, I will go through and randomly choose a comment under each of these books. This is how many winners there could be. 1, 2, because I have 2 flamingo ones available. I have 4 of these whales. And that, besides the narwhal, there's this hanging thingy and that scarf. I have 1 of this. And I actually made this scarf too. I made the pattern in here. I didn't make the head warmer or the mandala. And, oh, I have another one of those. Another elephant. I have 1 of these. I started this scarf and stopped. It's in a whip bag somewhere. I made, for this one, I made this guy and then threw him away. I didn't like how I did. And then I ended up making hats for my 2nd graders out of the rest of this yarn. As you know, I did make this lion. I have one of these. But then I also took a lot of the extras and made a baby blanket for a new family member. And then this one has a scarf, some little like heart pattern that you can extend into a baby blanket, and then mitts and a glove. So those are listed in my Facebook group. You can go over there, join the Facebook group, comment underneath, and you could, if you wanted, enter under 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Most likely, though, you're not going to win all 8. I mean, maybe you are super duper lucky, and if you do, you better go buy a lotto ticket. But that's what they are. That's what I'm doing over there. But then somebody made a comment that she said something, and I don't remember who her name was. Something to the fact like, well, that's out for me or something. I don't do Facebook. And so then I thought, well, you know, it is easier to, the whole reason I chose Facebook to list those is because it's easier to list the multiple and to have more than one winner. Because let's say somebody, I give them this and they won this, but they don't want this pattern book. They don't care about that line. They wanted this one. So I was trying to make it easier, and Facebook I felt like was that easier platform for you to go to the book that you want and try to, you know, get that one. But I did decide, you know, they're right. YouTube is where I started. So I did collect these 3 pattern books because these are the ones I had multiples of. And I will do one winner of all 3 of these. That's why they're different, okay? So in the comments below, you have to like and subscribe to my channel. And in the comments below, I want you to make a comment besides complaining about my ideas on pricing crochet. I want some kind of comment about fall. What do you like to do in the fall? Do you like to go to pumpkin patches? Do you like to go to see the different colors? Do you like carving pumpkins? Do you like going to little farms and seeing animals or whatever? I don't know. Do you like decorating? Do you like pumpkin spice lattes? You know, something about what you like to do in the fall. And I will choose with a random comment picker on the same Saturday morning, I think the morning of the 15th, October 15th, a winner of these 3 pattern books. One winner. One winner on YouTube gets all 3 of them. So on this one, you could do a flamingo, a little pillow, or a cushion. What do they call them? British people don't call them. Oh, yeah, they call it a cushion. A cushion, a hat, and a flamingo. And that hat's cute, y'all. Whoa, look at that. Then, like I said, on this one is the narwhal, some sort of sack that you can hang like a teardrop. And then there's her scarf. And then the weird elephant, unique elephant, some like coasters, and then a little bag. So it's a nice variety of, I mean, you're going to get 3 amigurumis, you know, but some other things. So just comment below what you like to do in the fall. I will randomly choose a winner and contact you. And then I have to do that secret word thing because I've had people with similar names, and it's been brought up before in multiple comments. There's people with exact same names. And so I need to know specifically which, you know, Jane Doe it is. So then when the email, when I put a comment on that, I'll put a comment on your winning comment that says, Jane Doe, you're the winner. Please email me at Summer Tips and Stitches. And then you email me, and then I'll say, great, can you please edit your comment? And that's where you just usually click on 3 little dots next to your comment on that video. And it'll ask you to delete or edit. And then you click on edit. And then I will give you a secret word from that email to put into your comment. And then I will go look at it. And then I will know that you are the same name that created the Gmail account to email me as the comment, because that email address got the secret word, and then you're able to edit your own comment. You see what I mean? It's a sad thing because I've had other people try to claim other people's prizes, and then I've had people with the exact same name. So that is how, and then you will know if I say your name in the YouTube video, if I say, you know, Jane Doe, you're the winner, you still have to try to go find your comment because there could be 5 Jane Does. And you might feel super excited right then that, oh, that's me, that's my name. But that could still be someone else. And so I feel sad because, I mean, you know, you mail out that prize and then that's all you have. You give it to that person. And there's very minimal, because I'm not a company like Walmart or Crochet Society to where I have, you know, I'm just giving you my own stuff. That's really what it is. I mean, sometimes I go buy things, but I'm giving you my stuff. So I really have, I mean, I do have a lot of stuff. I suppose I could send you something, but we're going to do this. Okay, people? You're going to edit your comment with my secret word. It's the same thing that's going to happen on Facebook, because I'm going to send that Facebook account a private message, and I'm going to tell them, you are the winner of the elephant book. Can you please edit your comment to say something? And then I'm going to go look to see if it has that secret word. The things you have to do these days. The things you have to do. Just to give away a pattern book. But all these pattern books, these are the end of my duplicates. I don't have any more right now. Doesn't mean I won't have more soon. Right? Because sometimes you really love some kind of yarn and you want more of the yarn. What I think Bella Coco should do, in my humble opinion, is after having the yarn available in these boxes, she should have some kind of deal with wherever she's getting that yarn, where if you have the same passcode that they give you in this book, you should be able to go and buy more of that yarn at like maybe 15% off, you know, or 10 or 20, right? And then you could make more of that same project if you want. But she does do something handy in here. So like if you're like, oh, I wish you gave me the yarn. Well, all I'm giving you is the pattern book. In here, she gives you a group in all the different kinds of yarn that are similar to the one that she used for this pattern. So maybe you can find one of these on the internet. So because I used this yarn actually to make a hat for 2nd graders, if you wanted to make this and you weren't able to get the Bella Coco yarn, you could go buy King Cole, Brecco Ultra Wool, Sheepy's Namaste, Rico's Essential, Hayfield Baby Chunky, and Stylecraft Special Chunky. And then she tells you colors that are very similar. Not exactly, but similar. So she does have that page in all of the books. So if you want to make these projects, and you're like, I don't know, I can't get a hold of Bella Coco's DK Confection, you can go buy this. Okay? All right, this video is long, and hopefully I didn't lose you or offend you, because I feel like this video could have been offensive today. Please forgive me if I've offended you, and know that I have nothing but love in my heart for all of you, and I hope that we can all love each other, even though we think some things differently. Okay, thanks for liking and subscribing. Thanks for sharing and watching my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.